gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
The Blue Jays came into this series riding high and expecting to soar higher with their ace on the mound. But the Yankees had other ideas, working diligently to get into the Toronto bullpen. Then, a lightning bolt in a pinch gave the Bombers the lead. And then, a 7+ minute battle, a chest-to-chest at bat for first place as the Yankees won that marquee showdown and the game. Yesterday, back in first place, a pair of valued veterans playing to the back of their baseball cards and their impressive resumes gave the Yankees ace all he needed, as he gave an exhausted back end of the bullpen all it needed, a complete game masterpiece. 9 innings to reestablish the Yankees' desired dominance. Today, the Yankees look for a child to lead them to a revenge-driven sweep. Yankees-Jays next on Yes. No need for the box office this weekend. All the tickets have been sold, including for today's game on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the final game of a 3-game set from Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. The first 2 games of this series could not have gone any better for the New York Yankees. They took those first 2 games, kind of righted the ship. And right in the middle of the 2 victories, Kenny, a pair of veteran switch hitters.
Veteran switch hitters coming through for the Yankees big time. We go back to Friday night. The Yankees are trailing at this point in the ball game. But after this swing by Carlos Beltran, a 3-run homer, a pinch hit job, gives the Yankees a 4-3 lead. They held on to win that ball game. Beltran was not finished. Yesterday, in his first at-bat, he goes deep again. Gives the Yankees the immediate 1-0 lead. Beltran just missed a 3rd home run in 2 games. This is off the wall. He has a 2-base hit. Wasn't only Beltran. Mark Teixeira had a big day yesterday. This home run, his 31st of the year, will break a 1-1 tie. Gives the Yankees a lead. They were on their way to a 4-1 victory. In fact, Teixeira was not finished. A base hit gives them another run as Chris Young scores. The Yankees win it 4-1.
Let's take a look at the numbers. Carlos Beltran in his last 14 games has been on fire, and Mark Teixeira, he's carried the Yankees for most of the season with 31 home runs and 79 runs batted in. Now, the beneficiary of the offense yesterday was Masahiro Tanaka, who was absolutely outstanding. He had a complete game masterpiece for the Yankees, gave the bullpen a rest. Today, they go a little bit younger, and we'll take a look at the pitching matchup in this game. And it's brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Drew Hutchison is going to go for the Blue Jays, and for the Yankees, it's the rookie Luis Severino. And David, what have you seen from Severino in his first 2 big league starts?
He's a pretty cool customer and a much anticipated debut at Yankee Stadium against the rival Red Sox. He looked really good, a lively fastball up in the mid-90s, and a very good slider that was actually rated as the best in Double-A when he was there early in the year. A lot of emotion, a lot of confidence, but he really got tested in his second start at Cleveland. Really struggled early in that game, but really turned it around and kept the Yankees in the game. Pretty impressive to not have your best stuff and do that in Cleveland.
Against the Red Sox, he lasted 5 innings, gave up 2 hits. Against the Indians, 6 innings, gave up 7 hits. The Yankees look for a little bit more, and he's looking for his first big league victory. Right before the trade deadline, everybody was looking for Luis Severino, and Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, kept saying, no, we want to keep him. Cashman will talk with Meredith Marakovitz about that thing right now, coming up on Yes.
Yankees baseball on Yes, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. The Yankees will try to sweep the Blue Jays this afternoon, and they'll turn to 21-year-old Luis Severino to get the job done. Severino dominated while in the minors, and he's pitched pretty well since coming up here to the big leagues. I had the opportunity to catch up with general manager Brian Cashman to ask him what he likes most about the young right-hander.
Poise, he gets plopped into the middle of a pennant race first and foremost. Makes his first major league start against the Boston Red Sox in a close to sold-out Yankee Stadium. Typically, those are things you try to avoid from my chair. We have conversations when you try to pick spots when people get baptized, so to speak, but it just was the luck of the draw, and so it was like that's the way it's going to be. But he didn't have his A game in the first 2 innings in Cleveland, and he did not bend. He found a way all of a sudden to get online and shut that offense down and get on a roll. And in both games, he's given us a chance to win, and there's been no panic.
September right around the corner, which means September call-ups, expanded roster. Any hints on who we can expect to see up here at the big league level when that happens?
Any and all of them. I'll probably talk to Hal Steimer at some point, but we'll try to give Joe Girardi as many options as he possibly can have, whether it's to spell people, to allow us to excel, whether it's a pinch runner off the bench to take one of these old slow guys out and put a speedster in, probably without a doubt a third catcher. So we'll do all that stuff, but I'm sure you're going to see a lot of those arms that we've been cycling through. The Scranton Club's certainly going to take a hit, and we've already told our player development director, you better be ready to start promoting guys or moving guys or filling guys in, because come September 1, we're going to make sure this team's got as much as they need.
Joe Girardi told me the other day that he's looking forward to those expanded rosters in September, giving him more options in the pen and allowing him not to use as many guys as frequently. But for now, he doesn't have to worry. That back end of the bullpen in good shape after Masahiro Tanaka went 9 yesterday. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Michael Kay, Ken Singleton, and David Cohn coming your way next with lineups, first pitch, baseball, right here on Yes.
Hyundai, who invites you to make a new connection to the road in the new Sonata. Visit your Hyundai dealer today. By People's United Bank NA, the way you bank, but way better. And by Honda, great deals are on at the Honda Summer Clearance Event. A lot of excitement inside Rogers Center. They just honored the 1985 American League East Division winning team. Brought back a lot of those players. And that was really the first flag that the Blue Jays actually were able to raise. Dave Stieb, and before that, Tom Henke. Cito Gaston was the hitting coach on that team. They called it the Drive of '85. And a lot of people might forget that the Yankees were in that race until the very last weekend of the year, and just fell a little bit short. And so they celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the 1985 team. And Kenny, you played against a lot of the guys that came out to be honored.
Yeah, I did. By '85, that was my first year in the television booth, but the previous year I was still playing. I was still an active player, and I did have to face the Blue Jays. Were a coming team in those days. They were really on the move towards the tail end of my career. As well, Baltimore won the World Series in '83 when I was there, but the next year you could see the Blue Jays and the Tigers coming on. The Tigers won in '84, and the Blue Jays won the division in '85.
Well, this year's Blue Jays, they have taken the field, so they'll try to make their own memories. And we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus, and it will face Drew Hutchison. Jacoby Ellsbury, the center fielder, will lead off, batting second, playing left field. Brett Gardner, the DH, he had yesterday off. It's Alex Rodriguez. He'll bat third. Cleaning up, first baseman Mark Teixeira. Brian McCann will catch. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Carlos Beltran. Chase Headley at third base will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the shortstop, D.D. Gregorius. And Stephen Drew at second base. He's going to bat ninth.
Getting a call for the Blue Jays this afternoon and be on the mound. 24-year-old right-hander Drew Hutchison. 4-4 in his career against the New York Yankees. Some of the numbers are good, some of them are not so good. You can see the record 11-2. That's sparkling, but the ERA up there at 5.26. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Honda dealers. Dome, sweet dome. Here at the Rogers Center, he is 9-1. And when you say have a good day to him, he takes it literally. He hasn't lost a day game this year. He's 4-0 in the daytime. And Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox and Anibal Sanchez of the Tigers are the only two pitchers in the league who have given up more runs than Drew Hutchison.
Well, Hutchison has finished his warm-ups, and the Blue Jays will try to salvage the final game of this 3-game set, while the Yankees will try to complete an impressive sweep, what would be one. The defense of the Blue Jays presented by Geico, Revere, Pilar, and Bautista. That's left to right in the outfield. In the infield, you've got Donaldson at third, Tulowitzki at short, Goins at second, and Smoke, a very good first baseman, mans that position. Russell Martin is behind the plate, and on the mound is Kenny Detail, Drew Hutchison. Another sellout crowd here at Rogers Center. All 3 games have been sold out. Ellsbury's ready. Hutchison is ready. And let's do it here in Toronto. First pitch is a strike. We're underway. Home plate umpire Paul Emmel. Mark Wegner at first. Andy Fletcher at second. Jordan Baker is the third base ump. And the Yankees started promptly with a base hit off the bat of Ellsbury.
You know, one thing you'll see from Hutchison today, he uses his fastball quite a bit. A high percentage of fastballs. He likes to get it in on the left-handed hitters. He got it in on Ellsbury. Didn't work out for Hutchison as Ellsbury fought it off for a base hit.
Well, Gardner yesterday stole the first Yankee base in 20 games, and his first since June 12th. So let's see if Ellsbury can join the speed party. Smoke holds him on. And Hutchison throws over.
It really has been an unusual year for Drew Hutchison, the starting pitcher. At home, those home numbers. I mean, we've seen a lot of pitchers that pitch well at home, but this ballpark yields a lot of homers. Only 4 home runs given up this year at home. 10 on the road.
1-0. See the home record, 9-1, 2.68. Road games 2-1 with a 9. A couple of the Blue Jay broadcasters I was talking to today, they said the home record is somewhat skewed because he has not faced great teams at home. So this will be a real good test against the first place Yankees. By winning the first 2 games, the Yankees are short of going home and starting a 10-game homestand in first place. So they wrested first place away from the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays got into first place with an 11-game winning streak that was snapped on Friday in that dramatic game.
Here's that fastball in. Hutchison throws his fastball almost 2 out of every 3 pitches. It's one of the higher percentages in the league. Here's manager John Gibbons. Maybe didn't agree with that call.
And there's the AL East standings. The Orioles have moved back ahead of the Rays. And the Red Sox 12.5 back in last place. But all of those teams are in the running for the wild card, including the Red Sox. High fly ball, right center. Pilar will make the catch, tagging Ellsbury. And the throw comes into second as Ellsbury just bluffs. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 75 degrees, not much wind, humidity 73%. It is mostly sunny. And you hear the boos for Alex Rodriguez. I mentioned that the Red Sox are still in the conversation for the wild card. They're 8 out, and bigger deficits have been made up. Now they have to jump over an awful lot of teams, but you can't say that 8 games out is insurmountable.
And not with the offensive outburst they've had the last couple of games, scoring 22 runs, and Jackie Bradley Jr. all of a sudden looks like a player.
A-Rod had the day off yesterday, and there's a strike. Right now, the top 2 teams for the wild card, the Toronto Blue Jays and the LA Angels. Baltimore a half game back, Texas a game and a half, and then Minnesota and Tampa Bay 2 back. So it's tight. Should be an exciting final month and a half of the season.
The wild card is doing its job once again, keeping a lot of teams in the race going into September.
It's interesting that in the National League, the 2 teams in the league for the wild card have better records than some of the division winners.
A-Rod pops it up behind the plate and out of play.
There's actually been some talk about just eliminating the divisions and just going with old school. You know, do the best records get in the postseason? And it's really magnified on the National League side this year. Obviously, you would have to change the schedule up a little bit.
You mean they're going to eliminate wild card? No, they wouldn't eliminate wild card.
No, just the best records would get in.
Gotcha.
Same number of spots qualify.
Runner was going and then stopped as A-Rod swings and misses and stumbles into Russell Martin. The throw to first, not in time to get Ellsbury.
Well, first off, it's a really good slider from Hutchison, and Ellsbury does hit the brakes and get back in time.
Well, the only time A-Rod hears cheers in an opposing ballpark is when he strikes out. And fans here were very enthused after that swing and a miss. You see the little stumble there in the Russell Martin.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Had a big day yesterday as the DH. Entered the game in the 9th inning playing first base, replacing Greg Bird. He's at first base today and batting cleanup. Now, Kenny, you mentioned that you're going to talk to Mark Teixeira about a ball he hit to the left side of the infield, whether he went that way yesterday or not. What did he say?
He didn't do it on purpose. He said that he just, sometimes there's holes out there. He didn't have his best swing, and it just worked out, and he drove in the run. It wasn't as if that he had the left side open and was trying to go that way. Here's our Jeep Hitter Scouting Report. 400 home runs in sight. Mantle, Murray, and Jones, the only other switch hitters that have as many as 400 home runs. The first 2 have 500. And by the way, Tino, you're next. The next home run that Mark Teixeira hits in a Yankee uniform, that will tie Tino Martinez on the all-time Yankee list with 192. When you think about it, Teixeira has 394 home runs. He should get to 400 home runs this year.
Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. Runner goes. Swung on a miss. Throw to second. They got him. Ellsbury does not agree. But second base Andy Fletcher says you're out. Let's see.
Almost like a pitch out as you see Russell Martin, even though Teixeira swings. Boy, that's bang, bang. But I think that would be hard to overturn.
Everybody's standing around waiting to see if it will be challenged.
It's almost as if Ellsbury slid to the inside part of the bag, and if he would have went out on the outer part, it would have been a little bit longer reach for this tag.
Now that tag by Donaldson looks like it came after the foot hit the bag. Did it touch it there? That's the key.
Well, Russell Martin's having a good year of throwing people out. 37%.
Now 22 of 58 as Ellsbury's caught. We go to the bottom of the first. You know, today's Blue Jays starting lineup presented by your local Acura dealer. Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop, will lead off, batting second, playing third base, Josh Donaldson. Jose Bautista in right field will hit third. Cleaning up, the DH, Edwin Encarnacion. He has a 13-game hitting streak. Justin Smoke at first base will bat fifth, batting sixth and catching Russell Martin. Ryan Goins, the second baseman, he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing center field, Kevin Pillar. And Ben Revere in left field is going to bat ninth.
That's a lineup pinned by John Gibbons, the Blue Jays manager, and they'll be facing 21-year-old Luis Severino, making just his third major league start. And those are his numbers. He's pitched pretty well. 9 strikeouts in 11 innings, only 1 walk. That, to me, that's impressive. And they're only hitting .214 against him. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Honda dealers. He's got a very sharp slider. To me, he's got 3 very good quality pitches. Fastball's good. The slider is excellent. The changeup is very effective, but the slider is really outstanding to me. In the first 2 starts, he's only gotten 1 run of support. It's hard to win a ball game that way. And a major achievement in the minors. This is probably what helped get him to the major leagues. He faced 1,277 batters in the minor leagues and only gave up 8 home runs. Keeps the ball in the ballpark.
Well, Troy Tulowitzki will lead off. 13 for 60 with the Blue Jays, so that's just a .217 average. And he gets started off with a strike. Blue Jays 64 and 54.
Now, with the Yankees beating the Blue Jays yesterday, it was the first time since June 29th and June 30th that Blue Jays lost back-to-back home games. And that was in a series against the Boston Red Sox. So the Yankees have come in here and done something that the other teams have not been able to do.
95-mile-an-hour fastball outside 1 and 2. You see Severino around the clubhouse. Does not seem unnerved by being a member of the Yankees. Walks around, feels like he belongs, looks like he belongs. A lot of youngsters kind of just stay out of the way. Not that he's forcing himself to the forefront, but he doesn't seem overwhelmed by the surroundings. And remember, he's just 21 years old. One, two. Strike 3. Tulowitzki down looking.
Yeah, he jacked it up to 97 miles an hour.
Why don't we take a look at the Yankee defense presented by Geico? Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran in the outfield. That's left to right. In the infield, it's Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Teixeira, third to first. Brian McCann's behind the plate. And the rookie Luis Severino is on the mound.
Yeah, Tulowitzki might be talking to some of his teammates here because of the fact that nobody's faced Severino before.
He's throwing heat. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, he is pumped up. It's almost hard to call his pitches. I think a couple of those pitches to Tulowitzki were sliders in the mid-90s. Cutter slider type action.
Right in on the hands. It's popped up. Mark Teixeira calls everybody off for the second out. Now I wonder if Kenny and David get the same sense. Friday was an unbelievable vibe here at this ballpark. It really felt like a playoff game. Yesterday, it felt like somebody pulled the plug from all of the energy. And today, it feels like Friday again. Like everybody, okay, we just got punched. Let's get back into it. There's a lot of life in this ballpark today.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with the way Tanaka pitched yesterday. He kind of kept them quiet, only giving up one run and pitching a tremendous game, a complete game victory. Sometimes the opposing pitcher, you come into a situation, the ballpark's packed, you keep everything quiet. The most enthusiasm you get is during the anthem.
Friday night just got paid. Saturday I'm broke. Sunday I borrowed some bucks from my dad and I'm back at it.
And then it's Blue Monday, right?
Well, he's throwing gas. 97, a little bit high.
Bautista might get the green light here in the first inning, trying to get the Blue Jays started.
Three infielders on the left side for Bautista with a 3-1 count. And Bautista works a walk.
That last pitch didn't miss by that much.
No, a really hard slider. We've seen Severino early in the game. That slider's really hard in terms of velocity. You see it comes across below the front knee, so good call.
I told you Encarnacion has a bad finger, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him. Got a nice hitting streak going.
They're saying balk. Encarnacion knew it right away, stepped out, and then Paul Emmel quickly said, go to second base.
You have to obviously have a discernible stop in your delivery from the stretch position. Severino is amped up here. We'll get another look. There is the balk right there.
And there's the pickoff right there. Bautista gets picked off at second base, and he's pointing to the dugout to say, take a look at this because I think I got my hand in. So the Yankees will wait before they come off the field. We'll take a look. What do you think?
Very close, but where is Bautista going? What is he trying to do? He should be out just for the mistake of it. That's going to be hard to overturn from that angle.
Looks like they might have gotten him on the chin before his left hand got in. And they will not challenge. So the pickoff is 1-4 as Drew made the tag. Interesting first inning. A caught stealing, a pickoff, a balk. Sit back. Spend Sunday with us. This could be fun. MLB playoff races. Alan Wants Taco says David Price for the 2008 Rays. He came out of the pen to help take that team to the World Series. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going.
Alan, I could go for some tacos too.
Here's Mark Teixeira. He was up when Jacoby Ellsbury got thrown out trying to steal, so he gets a fresh count. And he swings and misses at the fastball. It's worth noting about Ellsbury, who was thrown out trying to steal second in the first inning. He has not stolen a base since May 16th. Now remember, he was on the DL for a bit, but the running game really has just gone away because the Yankees hit so many home runs. They don't want to waste guys getting thrown out on the bases. Grounded to second. Goins is there, one away.
You know, sometimes the running game is dictated by the pitcher on the mound, and the feeling might be that Hutchison does not hold runners as well as some of the other pitchers. And that's why Ellsbury might have been taking off, although he's a pretty good base stealer against everybody. I think, first of all, he's rusty as far as getting jumps. During that whole time he was on, he was feinting like he was going to go, and he'd stop. He couldn't quite get the feel for going, and maybe didn't even get the best jump on that attempted steal.
Brian McCann takes upstairs.
Yeah, you got a bad pitch to run on, almost a pitch out. It might have even been a pitch out as Teixeira swung through it, but Martin was standing up when he caught it.
Hammered foul. You know, the way the bottom of the first inning ended, you really have to ask yourself, you have a guy with a 13-game hitting streak at the plate in Encarnacion. You're already in scoring position. Where was Bautista going? Why would he ever get picked off there?
It was very good timing by Stephen Drew. Very good timing. And maybe a heads-up play by Severino as well, just to see the daylight there and make the throw. Sometimes they're just feinting and the pitcher won't throw the ball because he doesn't see enough daylight. Well, Severino did.
Fly ball, center field. Pilar back, still back, on the track, he'll make the play.
One thing we saw here yesterday, the ball was carrying with the roof open. The outfielders were having problems running balls down in the gap, in particular Bautista in right center and Rivera in left center. McCann just picked on the big part of the ballpark there.
That's going to bring up Carlos Beltran. He has a 10-game hitting streak. 7 for 15 on this road trip. And there's a strike.
You see right here, Bautista, what are you doing? 2 outs.
Not only that, he stumbled.
Inexcusable.
Looks like he was trying to steal third.
Yes, there was just no reason for that at all. Too much coffee.
No, Beltran's had a good season if you take April out. They gave a lot of credit to Joe Girardi, who really does rest his veterans quite a bit. And if you look at Yankee regulars, quote unquote, only Stephen Drew has fewer at bats than Carlos Beltran, who is certainly playing with a lot of skill, turning back the clock over the last couple of months. Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. Set with the Minnesota Twins. Join Yes for pregame coverage starting at 6:30, and then after the game on Pix 11, come back for Yankees extra innings. Then Tuesday, catch complete coverage of Game 2 starting at 6, and it's right here on Yes. All right, we go to the bottom of the second. Luis Severino worked to the minimum 3 batters thanks to the pickoff of Bautista at second, and now Encarnacion at the plate.
With Severino, very impressive in the first inning. Good hot day out here. I think we're going to see some of the top end stuff from Severino today.
Lost strike.
A 92-mile-an-hour slider.
Just missed outside, 1-1.
You think of those hot days when you're a youngster pitching back in Kansas City, David, and just like you're a youngster back on the mound, today, even though you're in the big leagues. Something you dreamed of doing. A little different quality of hitters, though, that you're facing.
2-1. Waved at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's a good point, Kenny. I mean, Severino has that look like he's not overwhelmed at all. 21 years old.
I like the fact that he doesn't walk around the mound very often. He's just standing, I'm ready to come at you.
98 miles an hour. Encarnacion down on strikes.
This is coming at you. A high, hard one. Encarnacion with the wave and the mist. See you later.
Exploding fastball.
Well, here's Justin Smoke. And a strike.
Weather makes a big difference for pitchers. Good hot weather. Your arm gets a little looser, a little more range of motion.
Makes a difference for hitters too. And I can't think of a hitter would tell you he likes to hit when it's cold. It's almost like mind over matter. You just got to get it done in the early season. Corner to corner. First fastball out of the outside corner, that one over the inside. That's a key for a pitcher. Can he command his fastball? Can he put it where the catcher moves the glove? And that one was right to the glove.
Late movement. That's the thing with Severino. I mean, he's not too seaming or sinking it, but it still has life.
Base hit up the middle. A single for Smoke.
Now you saw the gun reading there, 90 miles an hour. That was a changeup, but it wasn't well placed.
Did him a favor.
Yeah, he did him a favor, and it's almost right down the middle.
First changeup of the day.
You don't see many 90-mile-an-hour changeups, though.
Here's Russell Martin. Strike.
Ooh, Severino's going to get that call. Watch out. Razor blade slider just off the plate. Good luck with that one.
One and one.
Now Russell Martin, we talked about it yesterday. They're somewhat of a tune with the catchers here. Martin gets Hutchison, R.A. Dickey and David Price, and Navarro gets Burley and Estrada. Russell Martin's been struggling with the bat lately. He's just 3 for his last 31 over his last 8 ball games, and he too cannot get on top of a high fastball.
You almost see McCann's glove snap back when he caught that in the web a bit.
swing and a miss. And Martin down on strikes. Third strikeout for Severino.
Ain't no messing around. Severino says, here it go, I got it. What do you got? A big swing and a miss.
You know, all these swings and misses on fastballs really sets up his slider for the next time around with these hitters, because they're going to get that bat out there, and all of a sudden that fastball is not a fastball, it's a slider, and they're swinging and missing just the same.
Here's Goins. 1-0. Oh, a strike.
You know, sometimes with a young pitcher that's amped up and got great stuff, and you're the catcher, McCann back there, it's almost like you can't move too much because he is just letting it go. So he's not shooting for the corners. Got to really be on your toes back there catching this kid today.
Got a very live fastball, 1-2.
He was talking to the press yesterday through a translator, and Severino said, I just want to hit the catcher's glove. That's all I'm concentrating on. I'm not into the moment here, what this game actually means. If I do what I'm supposed to do, I'll be okay.
Broken bat looper, right to Drew, and that will do it. No runs to hit, no errors, and one man left. We played 2 here in Toronto, 0-0. Today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. We go around the major leagues. Bryce Harper, x-rays negative on his foot. He's day-to-day. Drew Smyly, who went to Tampa Bay from the Tigers on a David Price deal, activated from the 60-day DL. And Hanley Ramirez is out until Tuesday with a foot injury for the Red Sox. Bottom third of the Yankee order against Drew Hutchison. And Chase Headley starts it off. Strike. Audi A3 scoreboard, 0-0.
Headley having a good series, 3 for 7.
He had that big blow against David Price that knocked Price out of the game. And Price said, that was the one mistake I made in the game. He said, in the way baseball works, you know, with my pitch count, I got taken out. He said, but I don't blame anybody but myself. He goes, if I don't want to get taken out, pitch better. The 2-1. Foul ball.
Yeah, that's kind of been Price's motto. I think he picked it up in Tampa Bay with Joe Madden, when Madden was the manager there. Very accountable. A lot of second guessers in that game. Should he have been left in to face Young instead of Beltran being able to pinch hit?
Grounded shortly to Smoke. 1 away.
You know, I was talking to Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler about that issue in that game on Friday night, and their thoughts were he shouldn't even been out there for the 8th inning. The Yankees really made him work hard. He struggled. Aaron Sanchez is a rookie reliever. Would have been better to start him with a fresh inning. Just let him start the 8th inning.
Or don't let him face Headley at all. Bring in Sanchez then. Because once Sanchez got in the game, you knew Beltran was in play. And to me, I got to avoid Beltran if I can. Their best hitter off the bench. You got to avoid him in a situation, clutch situation.
Gibbons, the manager, said, no, that's why we got Price. Gibbons very old school. He's definitely a guy that will ride a starting pitcher a little longer, and he has really all year with Burley as well and R.A. Dickey. A little old school there.
Those are veteran pitchers, the pitchers you mentioned.
He trusts them.
Fans might be wondering how Hutchison has an 11-2 record with an ERA well over 5. It's because he gets great run support. The best in the major leagues.
Check swing.
And is definitely inside. The Blue Jays score almost 7 runs per game for Drew Hutchison. That's how you get to be 11-2. He is sort of like the Blue Jays' answer to Nathan Eovaldi.
The 2-2. Fouled away.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what attracts me to the numbers of the game and sabermetrics is breaking down starting pitchers and the 1-loss record. And you guys have heard me harp on it all year, and sometimes it's just sour grapes from a grumpy old pitcher. But Drew Hutchison's had 5 of what they term cheap wins this year, and wins in non-quality starts. Quality start is 6 innings pitched and 3 earned runs or fewer, and that's about a 4.5 ERA, and Drew Hutchison has not met that threshold yet, still been awarded 5 wins this year.
Now my next question, could he be pitching to the scoreboard? He gets so many runs, could he be just, here, you guys hit it, see what happens? I don't think I would do that if I was a pitcher.
Grounded to second. Goins will get Didi for the second out.
But you've heard that terminology, pitchers pitching to the scoreboard.
Let's take a look at the Honda League leaders for the highest run support. And Kenny's been talking about it. And these are the American League leaders. So 7.9 for Hutchison. Eovaldi 7.6. And you see the others. Good to pitch on those days.
Drew Hutchison just averages 5.4 innings pitched this year. And the league average is about 5.9.
Well, we were talking off the air at Yankee Stadium last week, David, that we used to laugh at a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. That's a 4.5. Now that might be too robust for a quality start. People won't pitch 6 innings anymore.
We used to joke at the quality start stat.
Drew grounds to Smoke, who flips to Hutchison, who has faced a minimum of 9 Yankee batters over the first 3 innings. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 0-0. GMC.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models.
Look at a little bit of the style. Bob Gibson on the right. And we're not saying he's Bob Gibson, but just stylistically speaking, what I like is that strong front side. See how extended that lead arm goes? Throwing that glove out there that really closes down that front side and creates power as you whip that front side down. The elbow comes down. That's what speeds up your arm. Severino, I really like that strong front side, that delivery.
Bob Gibson.
They're very similar looking stylistically.
Yeah.
Here's Pilar, and there's a strike.
A lot of hitters back in the day would tell you they didn't like that style.
17 big league seasons for Gibson. 2-time Cy Young, MVP, 2-time world champion, 9-time All-Star to go with 9 gold gloves to go with the Hall of Fame plaque. Broken back ground ball to Headley. Pilar is out.
And there was,
away.
Michael, there's a little bit of meanness in there too with Mr. Gibson.
Out of the 8-3 scoreboard, 0-0.
He was not messing around. Worked very fast. Didn't like hitters to step out of the box.
Kind of falls off like Gibby. Yeah. Gibby would just get everything he could into it, and he was perfect through the release point, and then all of a sudden he would look like he was running to first base.
There's Ben Revere.
I had a chance to talk to Bob Gibson. Was it last year that the Yankees went to St. Louis, or was it 2 years ago, Michael?
Last year.
All right. I had a chance to talk to him, and he was talking about the arm injuries that pitchers are suffering now. He said on the days that he didn't pitch, he would take ground balls at third base and strengthen his arm by throwing across the diamond like a third baseman would. So a long tossing on ground balls. His arm was so strong, he could flip the ball behind his back to second base from third base.
Revere fouls it away.
Yeah, my dad used to walk 10 miles to work. That just ain't going to happen anymore. I mean,
you're right.
Can you imagine that? Brian Cashman would just have a heart attack if he saw Severino out there doing that.
Taking ground balls at third.
Speaking of Brian Cashman almost having a heart attack, yesterday, for some reason after the game, he decided to do the CN Tower hang from the top of the building tour. And I said to him, I said, are you nuts? You don't have enough excitement in your life? He goes, just another thing to cross off the bucket list. And he said that it was really scary. He said his heart was beating really, really fast. He didn't do it where he was falling forward. He did it where he was falling back. He said he's afraid of heights. I said, and you did it? But that's what Brian did after the game yesterday.
That doesn't seem like fun to me.
Strike 3. Revere down looking, does not like the call. Thought it was too far outside. He is barking at Paul Emmel.
You know, yesterday we saw the Revere jump, didn't we? After he struck out, and it's back. It's been reprised this afternoon on Sunday. Here it comes. Get ready.
There's a lot of umpires that would throw out somebody for doing that.
For jumping?
Yeah. He's arguing a call.
He's got a beef. But here is the, that's sort of a snapshot of catcher framing. The way he set up, the way he framed that pitch clearly was outside.
Fly ball, right field. And Beltran lost it in the sun. As Tulowitzki will reach second. Beltran lost it in the sun, could not haul it in for the final out of the third.
Well, you can see the glint of the sun off his sunglasses there, and hits off the heel of the glove. And Tulowitzki's going to end up at scoring because he's about right there. Well, that's a helpless feeling for an outfielder. You're going to see it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Actually, he didn't touch it with the glove. It hit him on the hip. And as an outfielder, you're just hoping you don't get hit in the head. That would be more embarrassing.
Couldn't imagine. Never played right field, but that must be Panic City.
So here's Donaldson.
What they score that?
E9.
E9.
Could have been the end of the inning, David. How tough is it for a pitcher to recollect and go, okay, I got to get another out now?
Well, you get 2 outs, so that helps. So, you know, if it's a leadoff situation where you've got a man on second and nobody out, then you really got to go to work. But this guy seems like he's a pretty cool customer out there. It's a good time to really endear yourself to your fielders and pick them up.
Grounded foul.
Right on cue. He's up 1-2 here on one of the best hitters in the American League. So an early test for Severino.
Yeah, Donaldson's second in the league in runs batted in.
One-two. Lined into right field. It's a base hit. So the error by Beltran cost the Yankees a run. Donaldson picks him up with an RBI single, and it's 1-0 Toronto.
This is not a particularly good slider. This one's up a little bit. Kind of hung right there for Donaldson to get to it. And as I said, he's having a very good year, MVP type season, and he's going to drive in the run here. And when you're an outfielder or a player that makes an error that leads to a run, you feel like digging a hole and crawling into it.
Sometimes when you're trying to throw your best slider, you end up hanging it, rushing just a little bit.
Pitch outside to Bautista.
I still believe that's a little bit harsh to call that an error on Beltran. That may even be reversed, and we've seen that happen when a guy loses the ball in the sun. It's pretty hard to blame him.
Here it is again.
That's not an error in my book.
You know, I've seen that call a hit before. I've seen it go for a double.
Missed outside.
You know, different scorers have different ways of looking at things. You know, I wish maybe all of them should go out there and try and catch a fly ball in the sun, see if it's an error or a hit.
You have.
Your eyes start to water even with sunglasses on.
Fly ball, left center. There it goes. See ya. A 2-run home run for Bautista. And it's 3-0 Toronto.
Well, that's the difference between the minor leagues and the major leagues. You make mistakes, it gets lost. And as good as stuff as Severino has, 2 hanging sliders have cost him dearly.
And plus the fact that big league hitters hit him, they know they're gone. Bautista with the stare down, that's his 28th home run of the year.
So a quick talk by Larry Rothschild, who heads back to the dugout. 28th home run for Bautista. Here's Encarnacion. And that knocked the mask off of Brian McCann.
That is a direct blow, 96 miles an hour. Barely tipped. So that's taking a shot, at least, at that same velocity, right off your chops. McCann choosing the old school mask, which is a little denser, a little heavier, a little more protection in my mind.
And a strike. So unless that error is changed, all of these runs are unearned. They count, but they don't count on the ledger of Luis Severino.
That's another pet peeve of mine, Michael, is the whole unearned run thing and how deceptive that can be. You know, Carlos Beltran didn't give up the home run. It's one of the reasons I like Game Score, and to sort of evaluate pitchers, invented by Bill James, a point system that actually penalizes guys at a discount but still gets penalized for unearned runs.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So he had a 1-2-3 inning going, but Carlos Beltran lost a ball in the sun. A fly ball at the bat of Troy Tulowitzki hit Beltran on the hip. Tulowitzki ended up on second. He scored on a single. The Bautista 2-run home run made it 3-0 Jays.
Sits down for a new center stage with Michael Kay to discuss his move to the legendary show. Don't miss an all-new center stage presented by your Tri-State Land Rover retailers, Tuesday at 11, only on Yes. Preview?
He was excellent and a very, very good guy. And I think people will like it.
All right.
Lincoln scoreboard 3-0 Toronto. So after the error by Beltran, 2 bad sliders, and Severino's down 3-0.
Well, that's what we've seen with Severino. He's got such great control that when he gets wild, it's in the strike zone.
The 0-1. 0-2 on Ellsbury.
A lot of young pitchers you see get pushed to the corners. When they get wild, they start walking guys. Just the opposite with Severino.
We saw that yesterday with Estrada. Each time he gave up a home run, he walked the next guy. Estrada pitching for the Blue Jays yesterday.
You know, just to Sir Michael clarify that point I was making last inning about unearned runs. Yeah, I think it's a shared burden is what is my point. Yeah, I understand that there was, you know, it would have never happened if the third out was made, if Beltran makes that play, but ball got lost in the sun. It's part of the game. Life isn't perfect. And then what happened afterwards is a shared burden in my mind. As a pitcher, that's the way I always thought.
Swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, David, as Ellsbury strikes out here to lead off the 4th inning, because I always felt there were certain pitchers throughout the league that when their players made an error behind them, they just gave it up. They just gave it up. And then there were other pitchers that got tougher. They just struck out the next 2 guys.
It's one of the stats that a lot of old school pitching coaches look at first, the differential between earned runs and runs given up over the course of a year, and that tells a story, exactly what you're saying, Kenny.
Gardner with a fly ball to center in the first. He's 0 for 1, the 1-0. 1-1. Both starters do not step off the mound. When they get the ball, they want to throw the ball. It's the batters that are slowing them down.
We've talked a lot about Severino. Hutchison's been very sharp as well.
Just missed low.
Yeah, I think I've told this story before, but years ago, I'm playing right field like Beltran. I dropped the ball that was in the sun. The next batter hit a ground ball to short, and Cal Ripken missed it for an error. So Mike Flanagan's on the mound for no fault of his own. He's got 2 men on base. Earl Weaver walked out to the mound. There was one out at the time and told him, don't let him hit the ball in the air, and don't let him hit the ball on the ground. He turned around, walked back to the dugout, and Flanagan struck out the next 2 guys.
Gardner strikes out.
Well located, 94 miles an hour, right to the glove on the inside corner. Clearly just beats Gardner right to the spot.
This guy likes to use his fastball. Setup pitch and his put away pitch as well.
Pitch inside to Alex. 3 strikeouts for Hutchison. Alex struck out in the first, and the first 2 batters here in the fourth. He's faced the minimum 11 batters. Ellsbury led off the game with a single but was caught stealing. 2-0.
And Hutchison was the opening day starter at Yankee Stadium this year. And he picked up a victory. That seems like eons ago now. That was back April the 6th.
When we mentioned Hutchison 11-2 with an ERA of 5.26. No pitcher has finished the season at least 9 games above 500 with an ERA over 5 since 1937. And Detroit's famous Roxy Lawson went 18-7 with a 5.27 ERA.
That made him famous.
Sounds like a cabaret singer.
Yeah.
Roxy Lawson.
3-1 to Alex. And he works a walk. First walk of the game for the Yanks. There's Mark Teixeira.
Well, the pitching has certainly picked up the Yankee offense over recent days. Now it's time for the offense to return the favor. That's how you build chemistry. You know the old saying, a lot of bad teams or mediocre teams talk about it all the time. Oh, when we pitch well, we don't hit, or when we hit well, we don't pitch. How many times have we heard that old cliche? Well, there's some truth in that old cliche. And it's a team game. Pick each other up.
One and one on Teixeira. Teixeira grounded to second in the second. Fly ball, right field. Bautista battling the sun. Makes the play as he wins the battle. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's 3-0 Toronto. I guess Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Luis Severino just gave up 3 more earned runs because the E9 that was originally charged to Beltran has been changed to a double. So the double with 2 outs then leads to the 3 earned runs. And that's the score right now on the Lincoln scoreboard, 3-0 Toronto. Now, I understand the argument that that's not an error because the sun caused it. But if I'm a pitcher, I gave up a fly ball to right. I didn't have any deal with the sun. And I really believe that that is the classic case right there for a team error. So Beltran should not be penalized because he couldn't see the ball. But Severino shouldn't be penalized because he got a fly ball to right. So there should be something called the team error. And this way, Severino's earned run average wouldn't be hurt. The 0-1.
Life's not perfect, Michael.
Well, it was for you one day.
Well, for 88 pitches for 2 hours and 20 minutes it was. But I got some breaks that day, too.
Yeah, how about all the rest of the games?
Now, I talked to Howie Carpenter, who does a lot of official scoring for the Yankees and the Mets, and he said that that's always brought up about the team error, and it's always shot down.
It's brought up to league officials?
Yeah, it's always shot down.
It's an interesting concept, very debatable. But, you know, what's missed in that is, yeah, if everything's perfect, Severino would have been out of the inning. But we got a good chance to see Severino tested in a tough spot.
Mm-hmm. 3-1 to Smoke.
Problem was, it was Jose Bautista, who is the Yankee killer.
Popped up on the left side and out of play.
You saw Brian McCann start for that ball. Now it is back in the seats, but with the shift on, there's a lot of pressure on catchers now, but with left-handed hitters at the plate, to get it maybe as far to the coach's box to make plays. You can see where Headley is. In fact, he was a little bit further to his left. More pressure on catchers to catch foul balls.
Line drive. Oh! Oh, what a play by Headley. One away. Took a hit away from Smoke.
You see Severino's delivery, and it is smashed. And that's as good as it gets. You're not expecting it coming your way on a major shift, and every bit of Headley had to be used to stretch out and get this one full extension. It's brought to you on YesMo and your Mercedes-Benz dealers.
There's a strike.
There's a changeup. He mixed it in.
Another underrated part of this matchup is Severino and McCann themselves. They haven't worked together a lot. A little bit in spring training. McCann's still very much learning the tendencies of the young 21-year-old.
And Russell Martin works a walk.
Just because there's a catcher on base in Russell Martin, he will attempt to steal. He has stolen 4. He's been caught 4 times, but this might be a situation for a hit and run as opposed to a straight steal. As the hitter falls behind on the count, that becomes more and more less likely, because you want the pitcher to be in a situation where he has to throw the ball where the hitter can hit it. He has to throw a strike. And that's more often when the hitter's ahead on the count, 2-1, 2-0. That's when you usually see your hit and run plays put on.
Nothing Blue Jays as they try to avoid a sweep here in Toronto. Drive up the middle, base hit. Ellsbury gets the ball in, a single for Goins. First and second, 1 out.
Well, the Jays, we all know they're a good hitting ball club, and they're definitely getting better swings the second time through the order. Never faced Severino until today.
There's another changeup there, up.
Here's Kevin Pillar. That one is looped into center field. Ellsbury coming on. He'll make the play. The throw to second. It's a double play. Martin doesn't get back in time. Martin read it poorly off the bat. He thought the ball was going to drop in. Ellsbury made the play fairly easily and then fired in behind Martin for the double play. And they're going to check to see if he got in time. And DeMarlo Hale said nope, no challenge there. So Millar pops into a double play to shallow center. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the 5th, 3-0 Toronto. In the thick of it. It's going to be down to the wire between the teams in the American League East. We go to the 5th inning. It's 3-0 Toronto. Russell Martin with kind of a boneheaded base running move.
Well, here it is. First of all, you're taught to check and see where the outfielders are even before the pitch is thrown. And it's obvious that Martin strayed too far, maybe not knowing that Ellsbury was not all that deep. And not only that, he starts to run, think the ball's going to fall in. He slips a bit. And Ellsbury heads up, makes the throw to Stephen Drew, who maintains contact with the bag. It's almost now, anytime a player has a base running mistake, they want him to check the replay. Save me.
Bigelow T scoreboard 3-0 Toronto over New York. Well, we've always talked about Hutchison getting run support, but he also gives up runs, and the Yankees haven't done much against him. Just one hit. A leadoff single by Ellsbury. The other base runner, a 2-out walk by A-Rod in the 4th. Ooh. And McCann will take first, hit by a pitch.
Slider down and in is Hutchison's known for. McCann looked like he was just going to stand there and take it and thought he had a shin guard down there, but looked like a direct hit on his
back foot, wouldn't it?
Right on the back foot, the big toe. Kind of need that big toe if you're a catcher.
Walking down to first kind of gingerly, trying to shake some feeling back into it.
It looked like McCann recognized it and just kind of braced himself for it and didn't try to move his feet.
In other words, take one for the team?
Yes.
So here's Beltran, who could certainly make up for that play in right, and he's had a great series, so it's hard to jump on a guy when he helped win probably the biggest game of the year for you on Friday. Also had a big day yesterday. Grounded to second. That was in the second. 3 infielders on the right side. Hutchison deals, and that's grounded to Smoke. He goes to second, one on to first. It's a double play.
Well, Smoke is one of the better fielding first basemen. He's had like one error in his last 121 games. This is actually a 3-5-3 double play. It's Donaldson that took the relay at second. So that erased the hit by pitch.
Just noticing these Blue Jay infielders are really accustomed to this new turf here. A lot of high hops, a lot of funny bounces. Smoke got one there. Gobbled it up.
Pitch to Headley is a strike.
Seen some of the Yankee infielders struggle this series with it a bit. With this schedule backloaded in terms of the Blue Jays and Yankees facing each other, not a lot of experience on this turf yet. Normally you would think artificial turf is true bounces. That's not the case here.
In fact, you can see some seams out there from our vantage point.
Two on one on Headley. Two. McCann ready to go back behind the plate. They take a beating, catchers do. This one, though, on a hit by pitch.
He's one tough customer, no doubt about it.
Shift is on for Headley. Three infielders on the right side. And he hits it that way foul.
Hutchison has been all over the edges so far in this game. Nothing in the middle of the plate. It's what the Blue Jay hitters were raving about Tanaka in yesterday's game. It's only one pitch in the middle of the plate, and Donaldson missed it.
Grounded to Goins in short right field. And that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're halfway through after 4.5. It's 3-0 Jays. Villa, Pirlo, and Lampard lead the charge against the Columbus Crew. Watch New York City FC, presented by Etihad Airways. Wednesday at 7:30. It's right here on Yes. Right here on Yes. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It is 3-0 Toronto over the Yankees. on the Bigelow T scoreboard. Severino's ERA as he starts the bottom of the fifth is 3.60. And again, it's just bookkeeping. The only number that counts is what's on the scoreboard. But if the fly ball by Tulowitzki remained in E9, his ERA would be 1.80. So that scoring change has doubled his ERA. And there's a strike. Hit shortly and grabbed there by Drew. And he gets Ben Revere. Nice play by Stephen Drew.
For an infielder, it's just as well as an outfielder. That first step is very quick. Short, quick step. Watch the crossover. Lays out, comes up with it. Accurate throw, and Revere runs pretty well. So there was no time to dawdle there, and he made a great play.
Here's Tulowitzki. He hit that fly ball right. That started the rally in the third. Severino deals. And a strike. Still throwing hard.
That's the impressive part about Severino is a lot of young pitchers, you see their velocity go down as the innings go on. Not Severino. Still very strong.
Oh, 0-2.
We talked about his quality slider, and that's what got him in trouble today. There's two un-Severino-like sliders. Kind of just hung there.
Strike three. Tulowitzki dominated 3 fastballs. The last one, 98 miles an hour.
Impressive. No doubt.
There's Josh Donaldson, singled off a hanging breaking ball, a slider in the third to drive in Tulowitzki. One and 0.
Just judging by what I've seen from Severino, Kenny, I think, and McCann is learning this too, that with this kid, when he comes out that amped up, he's not a candidate to mix all his pitches in. Probably good just to go with number one a little more often early. He's got burned with some changeups early, a couple hanging sliders. Probably better just to use that one a little more often early in the game. His changeup tends to be a little harder, and early in the game he tends to overthrow his off-speed pitches early. And then that naturally, as you get the rough edges worn off, gets better and better as the game goes on. But all the pitches he got hurt on were off speed.
You know, I think in that case, David, I hear what you're saying, but I think when he comes out to warm up before pitching in an inning, I think those pitches are very important. Those are ones that you can work, mix a changeup in there, mix a breaking ball in there. You know, how many pitches? Did you get 8? Did you get 8 pitches to warm up?
Yes.
Throw a couple of those just to get a feel for it before you go into the inning.
The 2-2. 98 inside, 3-2.
And I mean, throw them with conviction, not just lob them up there.
And the payoff. He walked him. Boy, you don't want to walk a guy in front of Jose Bautista. Since the beginning of last year, Bautista has 11 home runs against the Yankees. Big 2-run blast in the third inning.
Nobody else is even close to that number, I think, Michael.
Yep.
Obviously, the unbalanced schedule plays a part in that. The numbers are skewed, but nonetheless, Bautista's swing is not skewed.
Fouled that one back.
Speaking of conviction, every time he swings, he's swinging with conviction. Let's go back to the third inning. Yeah, that one kind of hung. He gets paid to hit those a long way.
After the error or the sun ball, that's when you're more prone to try to squeeze it a little more, try to snap that slider off and really make it nasty, and that's when you hang it.
Oh, 2.
I did it all the time, Kenny. I know that feeling so well. I hung so many sliders in those situations just like that and gave up a lot of home runs.
Yeah, David, you talked about Severino's control and how good it is, and even when he misses with a pitch, doesn't throw his best when it's in the strike zone. Here's where you might want to miss. Down and away with a slider, almost bounce it on home plate. See if he'll chase it. Very aggressive hitter. Ooh. Or you can move him off the plate.
Excellent pitch. Love that. Especially to this guy. All the monster swings that Bautista has taken. That's what you call standing him up. No intent to hit him, just stand him up. I'm not sure if Severino was trying to do that, but certainly was effective.
1-2. 2-2.
Went to the changeup, and it wasn't near enough to get Bautista to chase.
But it was down, like you were talking about. You definitely, your misses down with your off-speed stuff.
Bautista's among the league leaders in walks. He's got a pretty good eye at the plate, and I think that's one reason why he argues with umpires so much.
Three and 2.
You get no bargain in the next guy either.
There's no way to teach this on the minor league level. You just have to get reps on the big league level to work your way through these situations.
Strike 3. Bautista down looking. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. Let's take this baby to the 6th. It's 3-0 Jays. Pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.tv today. Well, Drew Hutchison has been dealing. Gave up a leadoff single to Ellsbury, who was erased on a stolen base attempt. Walked Alex Rodriguez and hit Brian McCann with a pitch in the 5th. He's faced one batter over the minimum through 5. And he's pitching a 1-hit, 3-0 shutout. He's thrown 66 pitches as we go to the 6th. It'll be Didi Gregorius to start it off. 1-0.
Didi Gregorius defensively being played just about as straight up as you can get. I mean, that's old school. Shortstop's where the shortstop should be. Second baseman's where he should be. Outfielders are about as middle as it gets.
Grounded to Smoke. Smoke has just one error in his last 120 games. Very smooth over there at first, one away.
Remember when Smoke went to Seattle from Texas, and Cliff Lee was involved in that. The reason why they thought Smoke was going to become the next Mark Teixeira. Didn't quite work out that way. You know, switch hitter, power from both sides.
Yeah, the Seattle was really counting on him.
Stephen Drew takes low and inside. 3 runs on 5 hits for Toronto. No runs on 1 hit for the Yanks. One and one. The shift is on for Drew. 3 infielders on the right side. Popped up and out of play.
And Hutchison's done an excellent job of keeping his fastball in on lefties all day long.
You know, I think the feeling is even if they hit it hard, they're going to pull it foul.
See how that ball stays true and right there as ties up Drew.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Drew down on strikes.
That formula works. Has worked for years. Hard stuff in, change up away. And Drew commits, goes too far, and is strikeout number 4 for Drew Hutchison.
4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and the Yankees have just 1 hit by this man. Jacoby Ellsbury led off the game with a clean single to left. Struck out his other time up. Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Home run into the second deck for Jacoby Ellsbury. And the Yankees are on the board. It's 3-1 Blue Jays.
Well, there's one he didn't get in. That's number 6.
Well, you know, that's right, Kenny. I mean, he's trying to hit a corner. And that's as middle as it gets.
Well, it looked like Martin's target was away.
Yes.
So that wasn't where he wanted to throw it, for sure.
It was Brett Gardner. So the Yankees finally break through against Hutchison with this swing.
It's all about location.
One and one.
The Yankees have 2 hits, and Ellsbury has both of them.
Gardner's 0 for 2 against Hutchison. Fly ball to center and a strikeout.
He's given Hutchison problems in the past. He's hit 3 home runs off him. And there's only one pitcher that Gardner has more home runs against, and oddly enough, that's Yu Darvish, who's out for the year. He's hit 4 off Yu Darvish.
Brett Cecil up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. There's a fly ball. Center field, going back, Pilar, still back, and he makes the play for the final out of the 6th. So Gardner gave it a ride, but Pilar covers a lot of ground. No one could cover the ground on this as Ellsbury goes into the 2nd deck and right. His 6th home run of the year, and it's 3-1 Toronto. Shot. Edwin Encarnacion against Luis Severino as we start the bottom of the 6th inning in Toronto. The 21-year-old deals a strike. It has been the Yankees' plan all along that Severino would be part of this rotation, either in August or September. They monitored his innings very, very closely, both at AA and AAA. And they left enough innings out there that they could use him down the stretch in a rotation turn for the rest of the season. And he looks fresh. He's thrown 97, 98 today. Great fastball, electric stuff.
Yes, and the retention of that stuff right through the 6th inning here. Very impressive.
Swing and a miss. He has overmatched Encarnacion, striking him out 3 times.
Well, this is the land of the hat trick, and he's got one. Well, he was looking for something else, or just didn't see this one. That's 8 strikeouts now for Severino, 3 of them to Edwin Encarnacion.
His fastball just exploded right at home plate. Darting fastball.
Smoke takes inside. Smoke a single to center and then robbed of a hit on a diving stab to the backhand side by Chase Headley.
That was filthy. 93-mile-an-hour slider, and home plate umpire Paul Emmel's hearing it from the Blue Jay dugout. But Severino's stuff is so quick and moves so late. He's hard to call for an umpire, much less hard to catch.
Crackling fastball, 97 miles an hour.
So the beauty of this is all the quadrants. Up, Severino, excellent command. As you see Shreve getting hot. Up and down with the fastball from Severino. Very effective.
2-2.
That's why he's in the big leagues, excuse me, Kenny, at 21 years old, because he's got a feel, a knack for pitching that sometimes just can't be taught.
You don't see much expression change either, just workmanlike.
A 94-mile-an-hour slider in the 6th inning on the 94th pitch. Good take from Smoke. He's going to tough out.
(3-2).
It was Smoke who gave the Yankees a real scare off of Dylan Betances the other night with a blast to center that we all thought was going to get out of here, that Gardner chased down. He's kind of forgotten in that signature win on Friday night.
(3-2). Strike three. 98 on the inside corner.
Impressive. Luis Severino today brought his A game and his excellent stuff. Darting fastballs. Go see you later. I mean, here it is. Hit it. Good call. Just off, up and away. Life on this fastball. Look at the darting action. Late movement. Now here's the slider. Jose Bautista. See ya. Needed that one before the homer, and this is just a four-seamer right to the glove at 98.
9 strikeouts, 3 walks.
Some impressive stuff. The scoreboard doesn't tell the story here.
There was a strike.
But I guess the scoreboard always does tell the story. So
it's the bottom line.
It is the bottom line. You're right.
It's like the end of the story, but you don't always get the details that led up to the end of the story.
Yes, the devil is in the details here, and a nice change up there. That's the one that gets better as the game goes along. Notice early in the game they were at 90, 91. That one at 88. So when you throw it with a little less velocity, you allow that ball to move down. The rough edges are worn off now. You got a better feel later in the game for that pitch.
Foul back by Morton. Well, he's kept his velocity first inning through the 6th. In all likelihood, this is his last batter. If he loses him, they'll bring in Shreve. If he gets him, 6 complete, 3 runs. That's a quality start. Yankee offense just has to kick in. 1-2. Missed outside.
Gotta love the aggressive demeanor on the mound. He's not trying to paint the corners.
No, not with that one. He's trying to blow it right by him. But when he does hit a corner, it's almost like no chance.
Mr. Cashman, good choice. Not trading this guy.
just doesn't seem to have a feel for his changeup today. He's thrown a couple of good ones. When he gets that down a little bit better, it's really going to be difficult days for hitters.
Yeah, it's more of a power changeup, splitter action when it's right.
And the payoff. Right back to Severino. That's an impressive outing for the 21-year-old as he retires. The Blue Jays in order 1, 2, 3. 9 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's down 3-1 as we go to the 7th. Three struck out 9, and there's the matchup with Severino and Hutchison, who's also pitched very well. And this is the 3rd big league start for Severino, and while he pitched well the first 2, now you see what all the fuss is about in this game.
Yes.
Those handshakes mean it's the end of the line for him, so now the Yankee offense has to pick him up.
Yeah, once again, a lack of run support. We mentioned only 1 run in his first 2 starts.
Sometimes there's nothing left to prove in the minor leagues, no matter what your age is. So get up here and learn the most important lessons against the best hitters in the world.
Here's A-Rod. And a strike. Don't want to take anything away from Hutchison. He has been dealing as well. He's made 1 mistake, and Ellsbury hit it out of the ballpark. In fact, Ellsbury has both hits against Hutchison.
Hutchison never really challenged. Not working from the stretch very much all day, just 2 hits. Never had to face the situation that Severino did when he gave up the home run to Bautista in the 3rd. In complete control.
So the left-hander Brett Cecil warming up in the bullpen. Hutchison's only thrown 82 pitches.
He's pitched far too much from the windup if you're on the Yankee bench today.
Two and two.
That's when a pitcher gets grooving. You have more a sense of rhythm, a sense of momentum when you're in the windup all day, as opposed to when things slow down with base runners from the stretch.
Strike 3. A-Rod knew it.
Well, Hutchison has, for the most part, been on the corners all day long, and Alex had a hanging slider that he missed and looked like he was looking slider again, but give Hutchison credit. Dots the I once again.
Crowd of 46,792 here at Rogers Center. The 4th consecutive sellout for the Blue Jays and the 10th sellout of the season. Teixeira hits one to center field. Pilar is there to make the play. Here's Brian McCann against the Blue Jays right-hander.
Anytime you see a catcher take his time throwing the ball back, it's almost as if he's telling the umpire, you might have missed that one.
Yes, you can tell by him that the pitcher holds his pose, and the Blue Jay bench screams both ways.
The 2-1. Line foul. Oh, what a play by a fan. Or did he make it? Somebody did. Thought the kid in the red hat made it. The 2-2. Looped into right center field. Will it find artificial turf? Yes, it does. And it gets by Bautista. He retrieves quickly, and McCann picks up a double.
Now, the other day in a game against Oakland, Pilar made a dive and the ball got by him, and it cost the Blue Jays a couple of runs. They eventually won the game anyway. And this particular time, he's not going to catch that one. So you got to lay back, play it on the hop. You got Bautista backing you up in case it bounces over your head.
Well, what a performance by Drew Hutchison. He gives up that double to McCann. John Gibbons takes the ball and makes the Verizon call to the bullpen. Sellout crowd gives him an ovation, and he turns it over to the pen with a 3-1 lead here in the 7th. Counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Those are the numbers on Hutchison, the runner at second base, his responsibility.
Now, we all know Carlos Beltran's been one of the better switch hitters in the history of the game, but I think John Gibbons is tired of seeing him hit left-handed in this series. So get him over the other side of the plate and see what he can do.
Cecil starts him with a strike. 43rd game for Cecil. 42 strikeouts in 37 2/3 innings. Beltran has a 10-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 2 today. Ooh, did that get Joe Espada?
Oh, he just got out of the way.
Wow. Well, they got to give him a moment. This was a heat-seeking missile right at his head.
Remember when the coaches were griping about having to wear helmets?
Yeah.
Not no more.
The 0-2. Grounded foul.
One of the things I don't understand about the third base coaches, they try to get, he's obviously got responsibility to watch the middle infielders for a pickoff, but certainly you don't have to be that close to home plate to get that same angle. He could be further down and still see whether a second baseman's breaking or not.
See, the whole idea, you're right. He's focused. See how he's turned and looking at the runner at second. But just as out of the corner of his eye, he sees a pitcher delivered. That's when he has to turn back and see what happens at home plate. And that's what saved Joe Espada.
Yeah, he's got to watch for a pickoff from the second baseman, so that's why he's trying to create that angle. But I don't see much of a big advantage of being that close to the hitter.
Fly ball. Right center, Pilar will make the play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-1 Toronto. Nissan dealer, 3-5-0 for Toronto, 1-3-0 for the Yankees. Donaldson, an RBI single. Bautista, a 2-run home run. That obviously came in the 3rd inning. And Ellsbury, a solo home run for the Yankees' only run. And if you just joined us, it would have been the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. A Tulowitzki fly ball right, got caught in the sun. Beltran could not get the right angle. It hit him off the hip. That kept the inning alive. Donaldson gets an RBI single. And then the Bautista 2-run home run, and that's the only damage against Severino. He did give up those hits, but it would have been a 1-2-3 inning if the play had been made. So his day is done, and here is Chasen Shreve, 42nd game of a year that's been a very, very good year for the left-hander.
Yeah, and a great point by Jack Curry and Bob Lorenz. Could not agree more.
Bottom third of the order, Ryan Goins will lead off, and the first pitch is a strike from Shreve.
Yeah, there might be those out there who think that Beltran should have caught that ball. Believe me, it is very difficult. He did everything he could. He had sunglasses on to begin with. He tried to use the glove. You know, I know you can try and create a better angle, but he lost it at the. You can lose it and then get it again and make the play, but if you lose it towards the end, you got no chance. I've lost them in the sun, and they're just not really much you could do.
I was going to say, I defer to you. You're the one who played right field.
Yeah,
I was the one on the mound with my hands on my hips saying, well, why didn't you catch that? It's the beauty of baseball. You don't have to agree with this. It's okay. You can think of what you want. It's debatable. Unearned run should have been earned. Should have been caught.
1-2. Adam Warren warming for the Yankees in their bullpen. Aaron Sanchez warming for the Blue Jays in their bullpen. There's Warren. And we saw Sanchez on Friday. He gave up the Beltran home run. 2-2. Skied the other way. Crowd gets excited, but it's a foul ball.
You know, Kenny, initially when the young promising rookie Devin Travis, who was the second baseman, broke in, he had a great year going, he got hurt. I thought that was going to be a big blow, but this kid swung the bat well. He's been impressive. Good defender, too.
And he's an excellent defender. It appeared back in April that Travis is on his way to becoming the Rookie of the Year, but he took a ground ball to the shoulder and for some reason hadn't healed. You know, he tried to come back, and it bothered him swinging. And basically, he's been shut down.
The doctors with the Blue Jays have never seen an injury like this. They don't really have a name for it. It caught him between the shoulder and the chest, and it's really had a hard time healing. And he was headed to Rookie of the Year status. Two. 3 starts now for Severino, incidentally, and he's gotten the grand total of 2 runs of support. Missed outside. Goins with a leadoff walk. Bob Lorenz has something more to say, and when he does, I throw it back to him. Thank you, Bob. And the Twins are coming into town tomorrow night, and it'll be CC Sabathia against Kyle Gibson. And we'll have the pregame on Yes, and game time 7:07 will be on Pix 11, then the postgame on Yes after that. So a 3-game set with the Twins at the stadium, but Yankees still have a game here to consider. Runner on first base, nobody out. Let's see if Pilar is bunting. He's not, and the pitch is low, 1-0.
I think with him being a right-handed hitter and left-handed hitter up next, they're going to let Pilar swing the bat. He's looking down at the third base coach, Luis Rivera. Headley about even with the bag at third.
There's a base hit through the left side. Gardner will get the ball in first and second, nobody out. Now you can have a Revere bunt.
Yeah, you can. Dave, I was talking to Shreve about 10 days ago, and I asked him about that split change that we saw way back in spring training, and You know, it's a very effective pitch for him. And he said his college coach, Glenn Evans, at the University of Southern Nevada, taught him that pitch. He had a lot of problems throwing a changeup. He just couldn't get the feel for it. And he said he went to the split finger grip, and it came like the first one he threw was magnificent. And he just stayed with it from that point on.
All the way to the big leagues.
Yep.
Gonna need one here.
Revere takes low. First two games of the series, the Blue Jays were 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Today they're 1 for 2. Saw Headley giving us signs. Coverage for the bunt.
Although I would imagine with Warren ready, this probably is Shreve's last hitter.
Bunted back to Shreve. He throws to third. They got him. Good play on both ends to get Goins. I never thought he'd try to get the out at third.
Well, Goins has pretty good speed, but here's the difference between a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed pitcher. I mentioned this yesterday when the bunt was in order. Shreve can just get the ball and throw directly, as opposed to turning his body all the way around and making the throw. And that takes time. And because he could left-handed pitcher, he got the throw there in time for the out.
That is the great point, Kenny. And shades of Andy Pettit in the '96 World Series in the 1-0 game against John Smoltz.
So first and second with one man out, and Girardi will go to the bullpen again as Shreve departs. East after this big series of the Blue Jays. Plus, get your questions answered via Twitter. It's all new today after the postgame, only on Yes. Adam Warren comes on, and he inherits first and second with one man out. 30th game for Adam. Started the season in the rotation, did a very good job. And you see his numbers. Troy Tulowitzki, 2 strikeouts and a double with quotation marks around it in the third. Fastball gets right by him.
finding relevant spots for Adam Warren has really been lost in the shuffle since he was taken from the rotation.
Well, they bring him in now to face a very dangerous part of this lineup. With the runners on. The 0-2. Buzzed him inside. 1-2.
There you go, David.
Love it.
This is right out of the David Cohn handbook.
This is how you do it. Hey, I'm out here.
You know, from a hitter's standpoint, I used to take that as a sign of respect. All right, let's go from here.
One-two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Warren. Third strikeout for Tulowitzki.
Great combination here. This is just working a guy over. A great hitter. Jump right up and in, right on by. Slider away. Decent swing from Tulo. Stand him up. And then a front door cutter off of that fastball. You see Tulowitzki's late on that. Those last two pitches work. That's a cutter. See the little movement in? Tulowitzki thinks he's doubling up. Another fastball in. Got beat right there.
Here's Donaldson.
These guys don't get cheated, do they?
Talk about 3 right-handed hitters in a row, now 4 that all take as big a swing as you see in the big leagues. One thing in mind.
Bottom of the 7th, 3-1 Toronto. First and second, 2 outs. Fastball inside.
One of the things that Adam Warren has really developed well is that game inside, sort of an X game where you run the fastball in like that, and then off of that you can throw the cutter. Both pitches work very well on the inside corner. One pitch goes one way, the other pitch goes the other way. Kind of created an X effect.
2-1. Donaldson this year a .340 hitter with runners in scoring position.
That's what makes these guys so tough, really all of them, is that they don't chase. You would think big power swings they would chase, but they don't. They all lay off of a lot of really tough pitches.
Grounded to Headley. And a nice job by Warren as he gets Tulowitzki and Donaldson to get out of a jam. Blue Jays strand 2. We go to the 8th. Hottest collectibles of the season. It's Jacoby Ellsbury bobblehead night, the third in the 2015 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Ellsbury's been big today with 2 hits and a home run, accounting for the Yankees' only run. And on the Hyundai scoreboard, it's 3-1 Toronto over the Yanks as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And it's a new pitcher for the Blue Jays. It's Aaron Sanchez.
Start of the year in the rotation into the bullpen.
Grounded and grabbed by Tulowitzki.
Maybe a few too many walks there with 38 and 76 in the 3rd innings.
The Blue Jays have always seen him as more of a power reliever, but were forced with their injuries, namely Marcus Stroman, to push him into the rotation.
Yankees running out of time here. 5 more outs. They're down 3-1. Here's Didi Gregorius. And there's a strike.
Sanchez throws upwards of 97, 98 miles an hour, and he was the one who served up the home run to Beltran on Friday night.
Told you Luis Severino started for the Yankees. In 6 innings, he had 9 strikeouts. He's the youngest Yankee at 21 to strike out 9 batters in a game since 20-year-old Ray Keating struck out 9 Browns in 1914. There's a strikeout as Gregorius goes down.
What was that year?
1914.
Okay.
Here's Stephen Drew against Aaron Sanchez. And there's a strike. We're in the 8th.
Excuse me, Michael. You can see what makes Sanchez so effective. From 97 down to that 81-mile-an-hour curveball that he struck Gregorius out on. See that variance right there. That's all he has to worry about is those 2 pitches. He doesn't need to change up. Doesn't need anything else for 1 inning. Throw the ball 97 and then finish him with that pitch.
You know, it kind of reminds you of, remember Betances was a starter, and now all he has to worry about is 2 pitches. Fastball and that very good breaking ball. I don't think Sanchez has control of his breaking ball the way Betances does.
The closer, 20-year-old Roberto Osuna, is getting ready.
Once again, you saw the body language of Russell Martin. He thought this was a strike, and it's a spillover. And not quite as far as Paul Emmel was concerned, the home plate umpire.
3-2. And a foul ball. Grounded right side, charging is Goins, and he goes to Smoke. And Sanchez works a 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Toronto. Twins and tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. Kyle Gibson will go up against CC Sabathia. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. on the YES Network. The game can be seen at 7 on Pix 11. A lot of New York fans here this weekend. For the Yankees, when they get home, they're home for a while. 3 against the Twins, 4 against the Indians, and then 3 against the Houston Astros. Bautista fouls one off against Warren. As for the Blue Jays, they'll go on the road. They have 2 against the Phillies, 3 against the Angels, and 3 against Texas. So that'll be an important road trip for them because both LA and the Rangers are battling them for wild card position, as well as they're battling the Yankees for the AL East. Bautista with the big blow. A 2-run home run off Severino in the third. That's the difference in this game right now, as Toronto leads 3-1. Look ahead to the 9th inning, the top of the Yankee order against the youngster Roberto Osuna.
Good changeup. Well,
Adam Warren has always had a starter's repertoire as a short reliever. A lot of different looks he can give a hitter.
dial that one up to 96.
Just about perfect, right? 86 on the change, 96 on the heater.
Creates a lot of confusion for a hitter. It puts you right in the middle. You always used to lean towards the fastball.
Two and two. Warren to Bautista. High fly ball, shallow left center. Gardner makes the play for the first out.
It looked like he came up there with knuckleball spin.
Yeah, another changeup.
Well, as promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #YesDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. I made it. Taking a picture with Paige Ann Marie and her brother here at the Rogers Center. That was a couple of days ago.
Those puppy dog eyes you're featuring there.
Mine?
Yeah.
It's called fatigue.
Hound dog.
1-0 to Encarnacion. He struck out 3 times in the game against Severino. He has a 13-game hitting streak on the line. On deck, Justin Smoke. And a strike. This stretch, these 2 games really help out the Yankees. Let's say they don't score in the 9th. Well, they've gone 2 games without using Betances and Miller. Kind of rejuvenate them after a stretch where they pitched a lot. Swing. And a foul ball to stay alive.
Don't really want to see that replay. It's not easy being a catcher.
Drew shades up the middle, but Encarnacion does take the ball the right side. Warren works from the stretch. And the 1-2. 2-2. And he has a 14-game hitting streak. He wins the battle with Warren.
Well, his average is going to go down somewhat for the month. He came into today hitting 400 in August. And this is with a bad finger that's had him to miss a few ball games. He went up the ladder to get that one.
Shows you what kind of hands, excuse me, Kenny. It shows you what kind of hands to be able to get on top of this.
Wow.
And hit a ground ball. Look how level that swing is.
Got 179 home runs as a Blue Jay, and he's tied with one of those 1985 Blue Jays we saw here earlier today, Jesse Barfield, on the all-time Jays list. Jesse also played for the Yankees.
Jesse was the guy that was traded for one of our broadcast partners, Al Leiter. The 0-1.
Billy Martin really didn't like rookie pitchers all that much, right? Didn't trust him too much.
But when Al got traded, Dallas Green was the man. And that was after he had Al throw 162 pitches in a game in the ring. Swing and a miss. Took something off and smoked way out in front. They honored the 1985 AL East division winning team, Bell, Mosby, and Barfield.
That was their outfield. Of course, George Bell in 1987 was the MVP in the American League.
Think about it, just in raw talent. Pretty impressive three right there, a trio.
Russell Martin swings and misses. Two.
Got everything working today, doesn't it?
Yeah, the beauty of the modern day approach now is it's okay to throw changeups righty on righty, down and in, as Martin reads fastball. Old school pitching coaches would have frowned on that pitch. Not anymore.
.95 inside. 1-2.
Be a very effective pitch to these Blue Jay hitters. They're all good fastball hitters, and they see anything on the inner half, and they start their swing early and get beat by changeups.
Swing and a miss. That's an impressive inning and 2/3 for Adam Warren. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? These are the men that will try to do it. Ellsbury, Gardner, and then A-Rod. It's 3-1. Blue Jays lead. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are back in our studios to give you expert analysis of all today's key plays. Plus, get instant reaction from the players in the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame, only on Yes. Sellout crowd watching another tight one. Of the 6 games that we've seen in the last 10 days, only the 6-0 game was one that you would consider not a laugher, but certainly room to relax. Roberto Osuna will try to nail this one down. 20-year-old closer is good in 12 out of 13 this year. 56 strikeouts in 52 2/3 innings. And his whip is under 1. Here's the Yankee offense as Ellsbury's home run against Hutchison in the 6th, the only damage. Strike, inside corner.
I think the impressive thing about Osuna, he's just 20 years old, and the Blue Jays are trusting him to close out ball games.
He's been around baseball his whole life. His father was a big leaguer.
Grounded foul.
Young man from Mexico.
Yankees have 3 hits, 2 of them by Ellsbury. He's 2 for 3. The 0-2. Foul back.
In this day and age, not many pitchers who come out of the bullpen throw less than 94, 95 miles an hour. That's what hitters are dealing with on a daily basis.
Actually, it was his uncle, my bad. Antonio Osuna.
Oh, I remember him. That nasty stuff. Speaking of nasty stuff, this is off the corner. The fans here thought it was a strike. Clearly outside the zone.
Two and two.
Antonio Osuna, his uncle, had a great fastball. At a young age, I think he had a hand in giving a nickname to his nephew, Little Cannon. The big cannon was the uncle. This is the little cannon.
Ground ball, second base. Goins. 1 away.
Osuna actually spent some time of Antonio with the Yankees.
Asking a lot of a 20-year-old to close on a team that's trying to win a division, but Osuna has had very few missteps. There's Gardner, 0 for 3 in this game. 2 fly balls to center and a strikeout. 1 out, top of the 9th. It's 3-1 Toronto as they try to avoid a sweep. A-Rod's on deck. Strike. 98 on the black.
Blue Jays have given Gardner a steady diet of changeups the whole series. Even Osuna with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball goes to it there.
That one is looped into left center field. It's a base hit, and that'll bring up A-Rod as the tying run. So Gardner picks up a 1-out single, and the Yankees have a shot.
We've seen Alex swing and look for a lot of first pitch fastballs the entire season, but even more recently. Let's see if he does it again.
Donaldson deep and close to the line at third. Doesn't get the fastball.
He was hunting one. Russell Martin knew better. That's the effectiveness of a cut fastball. It looks like a fastball till the last minute. It fools Alex.
Gardner leads off first. Very small lead. That run means nothing.
Now it's his last home run, July 27th in Texas off Matt Harrison.
That was his birthday.
That's right.
He has not had a home run since his 40th birthday.
And quietly down in the Yankee bullpen, just in case, Dellin Betances is warming up.
On deck to Shara.
Kind of got away with it, a backup cutter. That's not where Russell Martin wanted it. Looked like it was in off the plate a bit. No, it wasn't. Got plenty of plate. Just looked funny.
Listen to this crowd. Swing and a miss. He overpowered Alex with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So Alex finishes 0 for 3 strikeouts and a walk.
Well, this is what you call getting caught in between. And looking first pitch fastball, don't get it. Excellent pitch. Down, almost broke Russell Martin's thumb. Another cutter that backed up and got away with it. Down, little cannon. 98 out of the zone. Alex caught it between.
Teixeira, 98, takes a strike. And that one's grounded right side. Tulowitzki gets Teixeira. And the Blue Jays salvage the final game of this 3-game set. 6 games between these two teams. Blue Jays won 4, the Yankees won 2, and just a half game separates them in the American League East. The home run by Jose Bautista in the 3rd inning, a 2-run shot, the difference in the game. As the Yankees lose this one 3-1, but take 2 out of 3 and move back into first place with this weekend set. Now back to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry to set the table.